Will Bitcoin join gold on central bank balance sheets? And where do we stand with digital assets legislation in DC? I'm Jenny Horne. Welcome to Crypto Corner on Schwab Network. Let's bring in today's guest, Adam Lynch, Director at Schwab Equity Research. Adam, as always, thanks for being here. I wanted to start with a report from Deutsche Bank suggesting Bitcoin could become a central bank asset as soon as 2030. So what's the thinking here?
Yeah, thanks for having me, Jenny. So, in a report on Monday, the German lender said that Bitcoin is essentially on track to join gold as a recognized central bank reserve asset sometime within the next decade. One of their biggest arguments has been the asset's recent reduced volatility. Bitcoin's 30-day volatility has actually hit historic lows as prices have been somewhat range bound between 110,000 and 117,000. This reduced volatility essentially suggests a shift from Bitcoin being seen as a speculative asset to a more mature one. In addition to this, Deutsche Bank has also argued that Bitcoin and gold will continue to coexist as complementary hedges against inflation and geopolitical risk, thanks to their scarcity and low correlation to most traditional assets. Now, the bank also noted that gold nor Bitcoin is likely to dethrone the US dollar as the world's reserve currency, as the USD still makes up 57% of all global reserves. However, signs like this do highlight the emergence of diversification within this realm.
Absolutely. And meanwhile, in Congress, we know that they're seeing some progress as far as establishing a crypto market structure bill. So walk us through a bit more on that.
Sure. So, a major initiative of the current administration has been to pass a crypto market structure bill by the end of the year. And it does sound like things are getting closer. If you remember back in July, the House passed a market structure bill called the Clarity Act. And the Senate has built upon that legislation to draft a different bill, which is tentatively called the Responsible Financial Innovation Act. Now, in a statement last Friday, a group of 12 Democratic senators signaled their intention to work with Republicans on advancing this bill. That's important because while Republicans hold the majority in both chambers of Congress, they're likely going to need support from Democrats, particularly to hit that 60 vote threshold in the Senate. So, what could end up in the final legislation? Well, Democrats have proposed 7 key pillars for a market structure bill. So, I'd expect to see some of that integrated and implemented within any sort of bipartisan compromise. One of their major asks has been that Republicans support preventing corruption, abuse, and illicit finance, which each party definitely seems to be on board with. Now, by the end of September, Congress hopes to get this bill through the Senate Banking Committee before heading to a floor vote by the end of the year.
Okay, and finally, there's been a pretty big push for Bitcoin credit card rewards from companies like Visa. So this has been a fascinating story to follow. What really can you tell us of what we know so far?
Yeah, so this one came across the wire yesterday afternoon. And if you aren't familiar with a company called Fold, it's a stock that IPO'd back in July as essentially the first pure play financial services company powered by Bitcoin. It trades on the NASDAQ under ticker FLD, and yesterday unveiled these plans to launch a Bitcoin only rewards card on Visa's network powered by Stripe. Now, this card will offer up to 3.5% back on purchases, available 2% unlimited instantly, plus up to 1.5% once customers pay off their balances from a full checking account with qualifying activity. This kind of partnership marries Stripe's global financial stack with Visa's worldwide acceptance footprint to deliver what Fold argues is a more straightforward route to Bitcoin ownership, because this will bring Bitcoin cash back to everyday spending without requiring categories or staking tiers, just real Bitcoin earned automatically with everyday purchases. Both Stripe and Visa have been actively integrating digital asset rewards and support for cryptocurrencies, and I'd imagine we're going to see similar firms follow their lead.
Absolutely. And it's been also a pretty strong month, I will say, so far. So I say that cautiously. I know there's still some time left in September, but September has not been at least as bad as the skeptics were fearing, of course, based on historical performance. But appreciate it. Adam Lynch, director at Schwab Equity Research. Thanks for your time. And thank you for tuning into Crypto Corner. Be sure to like and subscribe to Schwab Network's YouTube page. I'm Jenny Horne. We'll see you again next week.